Folks, I hope that you have all been having a great couple of weeks. I hope you've been enjoying your summer. I am taking a look at the energies for the week of July 17th through the 23rd. And that's a unique way of saying July, right? July. Very Texas way of saying it, I think. Water signs are going to go first, and all signs will follow afterward. Water signs, I hope that you have had a good couple of weeks, that your summer's been going well. So there is this is kind of exploring a new situation that you've already been getting accustomed to, but now you're able to think and talk about it. For a while it was too new of an idea. Now you're able to express it a little bit more fully. I saw the Wheel of Fortune on the bottom for just a second. It was, woo, upright. I hope there are good changes headed your way. I hope you take the good changes, water signs. It may be that you didn't feel good about expressing this idea to other people before because you were shot down, or you felt like you were going to be shot down, for instance. Interesting, and maybe that people just were flat out not receptive to your ideas. It looks like also you had a partner who may have been encouraging folks, maybe not like flat out encouraging, but just by being the dominant personality in the room, they influence people to perceive you a certain way. I definitely feel like you are feeling like this is just going to rip out of you at some point, like you've been really bottling this up for a hot minute. It may be that this is what ends a relationship in this group of people who really disapprove of what you've been doing. Maybe you were really close to this person. Maybe this is a family member. Maybe this is a best friend. Maybe these are about to be an ex-best friend, and you might need to take some distance away from this family member. Whoever this was, they were close to you, and they are bad with money. They may have been spending their own money just way, way too much, and then they kind of encroach on other people's finances and ask to spend, or, yeah, really press to spend their money as well. But especially on you. And it looks like you're just about tired of it. You need to say something. Maybe you want to yell at this person. Maybe you want to cuss them out even. I've got a new camera, and I'm trying to see what it looks like in the monitor, so bear with me. So whoever this was that was trying to spend your money, water signs, really was expecting something to come in. But this is the energy of someone who is forever on square one and never moves forward. But they're expecting neat things, neat returns on investments that they didn't make, you know? They're expecting different things to come out of doing the same thing over and over again. It's that kind of energy. So it may be that this individual actually was getting some things that they wanted, doing things over and over again with you, picking fights constantly with you. But you've had enough. You're ready to break free. and it looks like you're offering your cup of love to nobody but yourself these days. It could be that this is going to turn into a time of reflection for you, possibly you getting closer to the universe, closer to your spirit guides, to your ancestors. This is a time to empower yourself. When you offer your cup of love to yourself, say, I'm putting myself first because, good grief, everybody else is putting themselves first. How about I put myself first in a healthy way? And that's how you empower yourselves, water signs. So what's going to empower you here is getting to the depths of why you are attracted to these kinds of people who want to tear you down, who don't want to see you succeed. If you can figure out what magnetizes you to those folks, that is absolutely how you are going to come in contact with all the tools in your arsenal that you need to be completely successful in life. Be absolutely confident as both the Empress and the Emperor in your own balance, okay? Different people are going to have different expressions of both of those folks, but ideally, you should have your lovers upright, signifying that you have both your divine masculine and divine feminine aspects of yourself perfectly in balance. Everybody has different balances regardless of your gender identity, okay? Yep, I was saying why it seems that water signs may be attracted, and I was getting Cancer just a second ago, possibly Scorpio and Pisces. So all the water signs tend towards people that they are close to in their circle, whether it's family members or friends or romantic partners. They tend towards family members who are volatile, that act like shifting tectonic plates. You know what I'm saying? It's a constant earthquake underneath. Yes, there are good times, but you never know when the good times are going to turn bad. Yeah, move on. Take the memories, the good memories that you've got from these situations, and move the hell on to newer and better things. Maybe don't hang out in regrets for too terribly long, because these weren't family members that you needed to have in your life to begin with. Even if it really hurts to let them go for right now, work through the pain with a therapist. I encourage you. Therapy is good for a whole lot of people, but these people did not need to be in your life. They were deeply destructive to what Spirit ultimately wants you to do. And if you have any regrets coming up from the surface, please defeat the idea that there was just one more thing that you could have done to have made things better. These people have chosen to be awful. Okay? These people have chosen this. And any idea that you could have been different, that maybe you could have offered something differently, maybe said something off, like, I don't know, just maybe offered a gift even, I don't know. Regardless of what it is, you need to put to rest any idea that there was something that you could have done, because they didn't do their part for you. Yeah, and it's going to take a challenge. It's going to be a bit of a challenge maybe for some water signs to reach this King of Cups part of your development, should we say. Now here we start out with a Knight of Cups, and that's how we started out the reading. But Spirit is absolutely trying to level you up into the kind of person that can sit through hurricanes and not be moved. In fact, you are an anchor for other people in addition to being your own anchor. Yes, I was talking about the Wheel of Fortune being upright. So you are doing a wonderful thing by letting go of any regrets, moving into being the master of your emotions, of your intuition, of your creative abilities as well, right, that come from Spirit. I believe that a lot of the creative ideas that flow from Spirit come through kind of the watery aspects. Like when we're paying close attention to our intuition, we're in close touch with our ancestors, with our spirit guides. That's when new things come through, new creativity. Words, right? New creativity comes through. But you've got some neat changes even if it's kind of painful, as we can see right here for you folks. It's difficult to let go of family. I can understand. It's awful, because those are supposed to be the people that you spend the rest of your life with, arguably, right? But now that you've got some neat changes coming through, as a person in complete mastery of your emotions and your intuitions, you've got some neat plans that you get to make now that maybe you didn't get to see necessarily because these people are bogging you down so heavily. And yeah, so I get that a lot of you folks have been in your memories because you didn't feel like what was going on was that awesome, and your future didn't look amazing either, but this is a reversal of this. You don't need to spend so much time in your memories because the plans for your future now look completely different because you're away from these awful destructive people. You're walking away. Now this is interesting. You are, if you choose to walk away from these people ultimately, you will become the ultimate master of how you speak, what you don't say to other people, how you speak to yourself, the new ideas that come through, how you work with those ideas, how you work with other people on new ideas, how you communicate. That's all going to come into conjunction with how you feel. This looks like a really perfect partnership, especially with this King of Cups on bottom. Water signs can really take this as an opportunity to mature if they want. This could be a really powerful turning point for a lot of water signs this week. Water signs have been going through a really, really tough year this year. Mad respect to you folks who have been high vibing and saying, I will do what it takes to be the best person possible. I have nothing but respect for you folks. I'm praying for you, okay? Take care, water signs. I will see you later. Fire signs, I hope that you've all been having a good couple of weeks. Let's take a look at your energies for the week of the 17th to the 23rd of July, as I said earlier. You've got a heavy burden that you're dealing with, and it has been hard work balancing this extremely heavy burden with the other responsibilities that life has you got going. And it looks like this is something at your job. So it may be your job that's the heavy, heavy burden. Okay, recession. Fire signs. There may be something about what's going on in the economy that may be really affecting you. This may be the loss of a lot of money. This may be the loss of inheritance. This may be the loss of a lot of stock, for instance. I can see that. For some of you, I'm getting cryptocurrency, that you've lost everything because you put it in cryptocurrency, for instance, because a lot of people are saying that's still the new wave of the future. I see that it's got you in a really bad way, and for a lot of folks, this might be the end of a family that you had put together since you had started building your wealth. This is about a recession. I suspect that some fire signs may have lost their jobs. Fire signs, please hang in there and please reach out to therapy. I encourage that. No tarot reading done by anyone is ever a replacement for good therapy from someone, okay? With this card in reverse next to the Ten of Pentacles, this is a feeling of there's nothing to look forward to in the future. My present is awful, so my past is pretty much the only place that I can go to feel happy for any amount of time. Some of you may be getting so nostalgic for the past because that's pretty much the only place that you feel happy when you spend time in your head. I get it. I get it. There may be some mistruth, mistruths, lies. Let's just call them, okay? Let's just call them lies. There may be some lies that you believe about your finances. There may also be some misconceptions about the past, and maybe some things that you're taking forward. Maybe there's an adult that told you something when you were a child that you've continued to take into the future that isn't working out today, that's obsolete, that some of you may still be hanging on to, that isn't necessarily something to keep carrying on. Now keep in mind that for a lot of folks, this is just having to manage a sensation that something awful is about to happen with this economy, right? And that you may be at risk for losing your job. But this is also about maybe we're believing something that isn't true about this whole situation. This is a time to get close to your spirit guides and to your ancestors. Yeah, there may be, once again, look at the childlike aspects around this. There's some things from childhood that you might believe, fire signs, that are not actually true. That might be about the economy, for instance. That might be about how recessions work in terms of how capitalism works overall. You know, I've heard people say that when we think of recessions as a feature and not a bug in capitalism, that's when we can start planning for recessions, right? And I understand that might be really something that a lot of fire signs don't want to hear. But I'm concerned that fire signs believe something from childhood, believe something about money that absolutely isn't true. You're paranoid about this, fire signs. And it may be that you really don't want to talk about this, and you don't want to do anything about this either because you're just scared to death that whatever lie you believe, whatever this person told you, you're afraid that it's going to come true, but the universe is saying that it isn't going to come true for you. You're afraid that people are going to attack you for doing this. Is it quitting a is it like a high dollar job that is absolutely stressing you out? For a lot of fire signs, this might be like $100,000, $200,000 plus a year, but it's squeezing you to death, basically. And some people will say it is absolutely stupid that you would quit such a high-paying job, especially right now. Why would you do such a thing? The benefits might be good, but you might have an awful supervisor, or the people above your supervisor may be awful, right? The organization may be awful. The universe wants to remind you that you are wealthy beyond compare in its eyes, okay? People might say, what the fuck are you doing? You are stupid. Why would you ever quit such an excellent job? Who cares if you're tired? Who cares if you're pressed? Go to therapy, take medication. The universe wants you to know that sometimes it's okay to quit a job, to let a job go, or to say, you know what, it's okay to be laid off from this job because I'm actually worth so much more than what this job was paying me. I'm worth millions, for instance, right? Screw hundreds of thousands, let's have millions. Some of you folks are worth well beyond even what you were being paid, even as a high dollar amount, and the universe wants you to move on. We've got a pair of 9s here. This is being just about finished with a cycle. I can see you being very defensive about, a lot of you may be very not poor in spirit, right? A lot of you may be very wealthy in spirit, and you feel the hell out of that. But nobody around you feels that. They're actually might be trying to tear you down because they don't like your wealthy, spirited attitude, right? Like, you can have a shitload of cash, but be poor in spirit and that repulses people. You can feel that, right? You can also feel that energy in someone who maybe doesn't have that much cash, but who is an amazing person. You can feel that too. But I see you feeling very, very defensive about showing that aspect to yourself because people attack that so readily. And some of you may be resisting the idea that indeed you are very wealthy in the universe's eyes with the gifts that you have. And that could be any variety of talents that you have to make money for yourself. This might be the time to be your own boss, to start your own business. Spirit really, really maybe wants you folks, fire signs, to start your own business, okay? So Spirit wants you to know that you lose out on opportunities and you are resisting the end of an era that needs to end, by the way, when you say that, no, I don't have money. No, I can't do this. I'm about to sneeze. So I'm getting my nose itching all over the place. Spirit, that was really important for you folks to hear, okay? Start your own business. Stop thinking of yourself as being a poor individual, because you are not. Even if you don't make that much cash, I know I said 100,000, 200,000, that kind of thing. Even if you don't make anywhere near that amount, Spirit wants you to know that you are very wealthy. Don't resist the end of this era. Move into the new era. Take new opportunities. Don't be defensive anymore. And, oh wow, look at that. Four of Wands upright. You might be welcoming in all kinds of new, it could be a marriage relationship. Traditionally, that's been the marriage card, right? But on the other hand, that could be a new partner. We were talking about starting your own business. How about having a new business partner, for instance? That's welcoming in all kinds of new business relationships. If this is indeed about your job, that's about welcoming in all kinds of new relationships if you stop resisting the end of this era. Letting go of this job, right? I understand this might be difficult because of these people hollering over here saying, what the hell are you doing? Okay. Interesting. So this is a time to let go of money, to not keep it to yourself. This is the time to spend within Spirit's limits. Okay, this is going to mean that you need to be really, really close in your intuition with what your spirit guides and ancestors want when it comes to spending. And I mean seriously close. Try it out, okay? Even with small purchases, what you would think of as small purchases, like going out to eat, for instance. See if it's a good time to do that or not do it. Because Spirit is saying maybe don't hoard cash at this time. Because it's time to get something started with something new and wonderful entirely. Stop resisting the end of an era. So this is when your masculine aspect, regardless of regardless of your gender identity, this is when your rule enforcing aspect of yourself needs to solidify, if you will. And you need to do that by obviously coming into partnership with somebody and letting go of some cash. And that might mean that you need to buy some property, that you need to buy somebody's business, for instance. This is absolutely something that you need to do, and that would be something that turns your Emperor upright to do this, okay? It might feel like it's a little bit out of control for you folks, and that might be a little bit of that. Like, you might feel like this is not what you're ready for, you're completely out of your depth. But I take note, folks, that fire signs, this is your card. That is Aries, okay? So this is you. Absolutely it is. And Aries, this might be really, really specifically for you folks, part of this reading, okay? But this is about you coming to into your own as the Emperor. Even if you don't feel like it yet, you're supposed to grow into this role gradually. Interesting. And you're going to do that by exploring new ways of thinking, communicating, speaking to yourself, speaking to others, and also exploring new ways of taking action. This is feel a little bit foreign to a lot of you folks, but fire signs, I feel like a lot of you folks can be pretty loosey-goosey, especially when you're high vibing. When you're flowing with the universe, this is going to work out well for you, even if it feels a little bit weird. You might feel nervous, but it's a good thing. Leaving something that you are comfortable with in order to nurture something new. Specifically, it's nurturing yourself. You may have never really nurtured yourself before. It may have made you happy to have taken care of other people before yourself, and that might have been a major feather in your cap, something that you're really proud of. Like, I hear people bragging about that, but that's not always a good thing when it's out of balance with what is good for you. I see you folks leaving that old ideal behind and saying, I choose to nurture myself before others because this environment, these people around me have absolutely not taken care of me. And it's time for me to start being my own cheerleader, my own coach, my own everything at this point. And that's where the true happiness is going to be here. Fire signs, I hope that you all have a good week. Please take care of yourselves. Earth signs, I hope that you've all had a good couple of weeks. We're taking a look at your energies for the week of July 17th to the 23rd. People have been getting the Six of Cups lately. Okay. Did I say earth signs? Okay. It's been one of those kinds of days, okay? So, earth signs. I see you being nostalgic about a relationship that maybe the nostalgia is a little bit misplaced here. I see you resisting the end of an era, and that also means that earth signs, you might be resisting some neat opportunities that the universe really wants to serve you, okay? There might be some hang-ups in this it might be a marriage partnership. Some of you might be getting divorced and you're going through all the memories that you guys made together. Maybe you're separating out houses and you're going through objects and you remember how you got that particular thing and the memories come flooding back, right? And it makes it even harder for you to move forward, but the universe wants you to know that you're missing out on some really neat things. You're at risk, I should say. You're at risk of missing out on some neat things that the universe wants to show you, that wants you to experience, okay? In order to access these neat things, in order to go through this transformation, you are going to need to be alone. And it's in complete opposite to this Four of Wands energy. Or signs that might be a really big struggle for you folks. Virgo and Capricorn, you're coming through really, really strongly there. So something's moving, you can move something forward slowly when you are in your hermit energy. There might be a project that you kind of put on hold because of how difficult this partnership was here, this relationship. It may have been that the partner just kind of generally discouraged you from moving forward. And once you can get away, be alone by yourself with the universe and with what the universe wants you to do, that you're able to access these new ideas. And it might take a while. This is the slowest moving night. So it might take a while, especially with all the dust that I see being kicked up over here. I see a lot of earth signs breaking down quite a bit. It may be a good thing to keep these projects on the back burner for a bit while you meditate and do some introspection on yourself. There may be a temptation to say, now that I'm alone, I can just immediately get into what I want to do. And the universe is saying, don't stop them entirely, completely. For some folks, yeah, you might need to stop them completely so that you can focus on yourself, because that's the priority here. If you need to stop some projects that you consider to be important because you need to focus on yourself and go to therapy, you absolutely need to do that, earth signs. And I wanted to say earth, air and fire, so you might have some air and fire energy in your birth chart. You need to take a look at that. Yeah, I'm seeing that you need to take care of yourself first and foremost here before you can pour this energy out into your projects. Once you love yourself, once you learn better how to love yourself, you're going to have all kinds of neat things just come through for you without necessarily doing work for them, right? Because I don't see the Two of Wands here yet. So things are just going to come in. It looks like the universe is holding some things back, like results from these projects back from you until you can love yourself first. And that might be saying, I did what I could in this marriage partnership, and there's nothing more that I can do. It might be really, really difficult to say, I don't have any regrets about what I tried to do. That might take a long time to say, just because you're afraid that there was one more thing that you could have done to repair things. The universe wants you to know that it was supposed to have ended. It needed to have ended. That's exactly what I was just describing. 5 of Cups in reverse. Take the good memories that you established with this person while you were with them and move on into newer, better memories. And don't say, maybe there was one more thing that you could have done. There wasn't. The relationship was dead in the water. 5 and 5 together. Earth signs, it might be really tempting to kind of hold a grudge against this person, and it's weird. It's kind of this energy of kind of punishing yourself in this. It's an energy of refusing help deliberately, saying, I want to bite down on this even though it really, really hurts, because the hurt feels good and it feels like something I deserve. It is punishing yourself in a sense, and I want you to be really, really cautious of this. I was about to say fire signs again. Be cautious of burning yourself. You know, earth signs, be cautious of burning yourself here. Put this in reverse and go in for help. Go into therapy, okay? Start a new era, turn over a new leaf and say, it's over. I'm not going to run around in circles refusing help, basically making my feet bleed in the snow because I feel like I deserve this because it collapsed. Punishing yourself because there was maybe something that you could have done isn't going to do anything, okay? Do not punish yourself. Move into a new era instead, even if it feels completely foolish. That's the point of this card, right? What the hell am I doing? You might be jumping exactly into what the universe wants you to do, okay? Don't take shortcuts. When it comes to putting new ideas out there, doing something new, don't take the easy route. In the midst of all these new beginnings, don't skip ahead of new important steps. Go slowly here. Put these 2 cards upright. Things will go a whole lot better. Work steadily on these new projects and they're going to go really beautifully for you. Excuse me. So here is a risk. Skipping ahead and rushing a project is going to keep you in loops when it comes to being this King of Wands. When I say keep you in loops, it's going to keep you from actually being the King of Wands, but it's going to have you in like that shell energy. You feel like you could be there, like you're almost there, but it's that faking it, you haven't made it feeling yet. Having it upright is going to have, I made it, right? You're not faking it anymore, but right now, taking shortcuts because you're just kind of doing something for the sake of doing something because you might be in so much pain that you don't know how to sit down with this energy, with this Hermit card, okay, Earth signs. That fire energy, I'm getting Aries, that might have you like ripping around when normally Earth signs, you're kind of pretty grounded and on the more, I'm not going to say slow, but on the more more slower paced end, right? And this might have you absolutely ripping up stuff. I'm thinking of like a grass fire. If you ever want to look at how fast a grass fire moves, definitely should do that and be cautious of it, okay? Because I see that potential here of possibly burning some stuff that you didn't want to burn, like relationships, that kind of thing, okay? Yeah, be cautious that you don't end up taking something really valuable and end up burning some bridges, okay? Yeah. Instead, channel that Hermit and use this as the end of an era. Deliberately take note of this card and say, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to sit my ass down. As hard as it might be, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to finish this relationship and I'm going to truly move on. And that might mean moving out of that city, that might moving out of that state, might mean moving out of the country. You know, you see what's going on in the United States, you see what's going on in a couple of other countries, you might want to do that. I don't know, it's a good time to move. But for a lot of you folks, let this be the end of an era. Don't pursue old things that were associated with this old relationship, because that's holding on to things that the universe wants to get rid of. We want that death card to be upright, letting go truly and moving into a new life, basically, a whole new lifestyle. Okay, coming into that feminine energy here, regardless of what your gender identity may be, definitely tune into your emotional aspects, into your intuition. Take care of yourself first. That cup is for yourself just as much as it is for other people. So that's where you're going to make good plans that are going to be powerful and strong. Earth signs, by tuning into your watery aspects, and that might be a challenge for you, that's kind of an opposite sign. By tuning into your watery aspects, you have the real potential to becoming a genuinely, on the inside, deeply rooted, powerful kind of person that's an anchor for yourself through times of trouble, in addition to being an anchor for other folks, okay? And all kinds of neat new plans, like real plans the universe wants you to have and is going to bless, are going to come through when you get into this energy. Focus very powerfully on your Queen of Cups aspect and build up, in total, your Empress aspect, regardless of your gender identity. Both your Emperor and your Empress ideally should be upright and in balance. That's how you move forward with the universe, okay? Earth signs, please take care of yourselves. I hope you have a good week. Air signs, the universe, whoop, there we go. I hope it focuses. There we go. Air signs, the universe just told me to flip the entire deck over for you folks. So there's some kind of important message coming through for you. I hope that you're all having a good week. We're taking a look at your energies for the week of the 17th of July through the 23rd. This is what fell out, folks. So it might be a job, it might be a business partnership here. that is going to greatly increase your wealth. Oh, wow. Aren't we glad that we reversed the whole deck, y'all? Oh, yes. Wow. That's good news. So, I said new partnership. This could be you marrying into a family, air signs, a wealthy family. One that already has a well-established business up and running. You're bringing a lot to this relationship too. You're not the person who's coming in, you know, the pauper and the princess kind of equation, okay? You're bringing in a lot of neat things to this partnership, and that's why they're working with you. That's why they're attracted to you. This is an entirely new era for you, air signs, right? A new way of thinking even for you folks. And I know that air signs will welcome that energy. We're going to keep going here. So, I was talking about Princess and the Pauper just a second ago. Some of you air signs may be really just, you've been working your asses off and you've got peanuts to show for it, right? And this is the end of all that. It's the end of an era, basically, this week, or that energy is starting to really heat up at the very, very least for you folks. And honestly, it might happen for some rare air signs, okay? The end of an era. We're not going to be asking for help anymore. We're going to be the people who donate to people who need help. I say we. I'm an air sign. I'm a Gemini. Twice over, okay? Here's another air sign. Okay. So, yes, you're the feminine aspect of yourself, the Empress aspect, regardless of what your gender identity may be. The Empress, the intelligence, the communicative aspect of yourself is going to go through a serious upgrade once you go through this particular physical upgrade, if you will. So with this being in the clouds, I associate that being close to the gods. I've seen also how the sword suite is depicted as being in the mountains, also being close to the gods. This is going to be a whole new era for you folks. Really, really exciting. It's going to be like new levels, new devils kind of thing, but it's also going to be just better than you could have ever imagined, better than your wildest dreams. It's not going to feel real for a little bit. The universe is bringing balance back to your situation. You are going to be able to be in control of your situation once again, and that might have not been a thing right here. You may have felt out of control of your situation. You were like, how can I feel wealthy when I'm having to ask people for help, when in some cases some of you may have been asking for donations of food, of clothing, of money, for instance, because you were in that bad a shape. This is the end of that. This is the universe saying, I'm going to restore all kinds of wonderful things that you have been working your butts off for. Respect to you air signs, to us air signs. Another awesome card. Dude, this is amazing. This is bringing balance to hope. Basically, if you lost hope that this was ever going to be good, if life was ever going to stop being difficult, this recession may have really scared a lot of you air signs. Please take courage. I hope that this resonates with you folks, and please do take what resonates. But I see wonderful things happening for us air signs, okay? So, a new project. Hope is inspiring a new project, us to leave something. maybe leaving behind some beliefs that just don't serve us anymore. Maybe there's some stuff about our worlds, our domestic sphere, our where we work, for instance, how we communicate with other people. Maybe that's about to go through an epiphany, kind of an earthquakey kind of thing, and now everything's new, for instance. I mean, a good earthquake. We do need to let go of some misconceptions that we believe about ourselves, for instance. And I'll bet that's what's going on right here. This is the time to let go of some things that we believe about ourselves that absolutely aren't true. That maybe we don't deserve these wonderful things because we don't have money. Why are we buying nice things for ourselves if we don't have money? That's a myth that should be busted. And I've got spiritual burps. That's probably confirmation that Spirit says, yes, that's true. So there were some things that we believed about stuff in the past, right? Maybe about this specific, maybe that we didn't believe that we were set out, maybe we didn't believe that we were made for marriage partnerships, that we weren't made for business opportunities, right? The universe is calling us out on that, saying, how about now? Is now a good time to come into our own? And it might feel like this was never going to happen, but this is coming in reverse for the moment. It's going to pop up in the upright as soon as we realize that no, the universe is offering something awesome, and I choose to take off these blindfolds and go for it. In the past, someone may have sabotaged, or I should say, there may be someone who wants to sabotage your future with the universe, okay? Because I see someone who wants to betray what's going on here. You can save yourself from this. It looks like the universe is protecting you from this. Interesting that they're both laying down. I just now noticed that. Coming out together, they're both laying down. I think flat out the universe is protecting you from this. People are trying to stab you in the back, basically. It may be that some people deliberately told you stuff for you to believe about yourself so that you wouldn't be better than them. Quite possibly. It might be that those people wanted to hold you back because it makes them feel better about themselves, about where they are in life, because they don't want to change. They have chosen to avoid this card. You have the opportunity to listen and up-level yourself. And there will be people who try to go for this. The universe wants you to know that you are utterly protected, even if you don't feel like even if you don't feel like you have wonderful things coming in. The universe wants you to know that you do have awesome things coming in, okay? This is a time to reflect on how you use your abilities for yourself. You have all the tools at your disposal. So are you thinking of yourself as an empowered individual in spite of the fact that this might be you might see this betrayal coming and you might feel some of the effects, but not as powerfully because the universe is protecting you. And still, this might be a little bit disorienting for you folks. So Geminis in particular might either struggle, now this is a very Gemini kind of thing, they might either struggle or really, really take to this empowerment phase in spite of this betrayal, okay? Take it as it resonates. This is a good time to pay close attention to the universe when it comes to how to navigate the effects of this betrayal, okay? For some of you, just resting and not communicating with people is the way to not feel this, or not to have this happen at all, to not have this just be an attempt and not an actual success. You can make that happen here. But first and foremost, you need to see yourself as an empowered individual who can make that happen. The universe is guiding you, okay? You are uncovering some truths. You don't need to be defensive anymore because now you see things for what they really, really are. And now you can leave behind an era where you felt like people were out to get you. It wasn't entirely true that people were out to get you, entirely I should say, but there were some folks who really, really didn't like how successful, what kinds of wonderful successes you had coming your way. People really didn't like that, and I do see that. But now you can appreciate things for what they are, and you can move on. It's the end of an era, air signs. 8 of Cups in reverse on top of Death. There's something about a betrayal here that's pushed you away. This betrayal may have already happened. It may be about to happen. Take it as it resonates, okay? Stay safe emotionally, spiritually, mentally, all that kind of good stuff. Please reach out to therapy if you need it. I say that to all my readings these days. We're going through difficult times. Take care, signs.